Hi all, welcome. How are you? Welcome to my channel. It's been a long while, but it's nice to finally see you all. I'm here today just to give you a little update on what's going on. I have been diagnosed with breast cancer, and it's been really hard to kind of like just keep everything moving and shaking, but then it hasn't. So with everything going on, I just wanted to just start sharing my story about the side effects of chemo and how to really manage and the weight gain and all the things cancer related in the fight, and just being a normal mom to a 12-year-old and a 16-year-old all at the same time. I have family, I have friends, and when I first received the news, it was very shocking because I was 31 when I got diagnosed, about 32. I had a lump. It was growing and it kept growing. I didn't have any other symptoms, and I wasn't really not afraid of anything, but I wasn't really concerned with the lump as such. I've been dipping and dabbing and looking at cancer fighting research for a long time. So I really wasn't really that scared when I first got diagnosed. It just was like, it's brought on my front doorstep. And now it's like, boom, 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 you have cancer. So with that, how did I feel? I felt like, damn, I'm not normal. I didn't feel defeated, but I was like, whoa, very close to being defeated. More so, not defeated, but like, whoa, okay, this happening to me. We live in a country where a lot of things happen. You immediately think about the treatment and think about the scary side effects that people warn you about when you get chemotherapy. And just sitting there trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to get over this? How are we going to feed ourselves? How are we going to manage keeping a place? And how are we going to keep our confidence up to the point where you'll be able to come out on top? With everything going on in the world, I wasn't going to sit here and just play victim. When I found out, I had to basically let my family know, and it wasn't my friends know. And then I just didn't have breast cancer. I had the most aggressive type of breast cancer. Hold on 1 second. Let me add some color to my face. Let me add a little bit of color to my face, right? I'm in my room right now. Okay, a little bit better. So when I initially had found out I had cancer, it was like a lot. So I was shocked. I had no emotions, to say the least. No emotions at all. And since I didn't have any emotions, I basically just was like, shit, what do I do? Now, at the point when I did get diagnosed, I had it was open. It was a large lump, and it was like an open wound, and it was bleeding. It was nasty. So since it was bleeding and it was so nasty, I was like, shoot, what do I do? You know what I mean? Do I believe them? Do I not believe them? What do I do? So since I didn't have no idea what I wanted to do, I didn't do anything. I just basically was like in freeze mode. So me being in freeze mode, I'm sorry, I had to like judge myself up a little bit, you know, on TV. Since I'm on freeze mode, I didn't know what to do. I had a lot of thoughts running through my head. My mom didn't take the news well, of course. She thought I did something to bring it on, and I didn't. When people can't handle bad news, I guess that's what they do. You know, push me away. We got into a fight, and I didn't speak to her for a couple of months afterwards. I wasn't financially stable. I had already been unemployed for some months. I had got fired from my last job. It was like a little bit of a sexual harassment thing going on. And basically, I left, got fired. Went to HR, complained. naive of me. And then I was like, boom, let me just see what's going on and see if I can get things done. And no, not the fuck, not at all. So when they came in after they told me that, I basically just mentally armed myself. I had too many things to think about. I had to think about surviving. I had to think about my son. I think about my daughter. I had to think about, you know, my immediate like family that was just going to be affected by this news. I had to think about all those little things, and I had to just be on the forthcoming of it all. And I was sitting there scared, like, ooh, am I going to make it out of here? But I'm very strong. Like, people like me that always are responsible and don't ask for a lot of help from others and don't want people to feel sorry for them. We internalize a lot of things. And then I'm a Pisces, if that makes anything worse or better. I don't know. So I'm always in like a daydream kind of state, like, oh, whatever, yeah, who cares, you know? And I'm always thinking that I don't really take things too serious, but I definitely do pay attention to them and how they affect me. Once I got over my housing situation, I had a heart-to-heart with my my daughter's father. My daughter lives with her father full time. We weren't speaking at the time, but I had to just swallow my pride. Pride doesn't get you anywhere. And I had to tell him basically, like, look, I'm essentially dying. You know, that's how they make you feel when you get cancer. They don't make you feel like you can beat it. They make you feel like you're going to die. I had the worst type of cancer. I had triple, hold on guys. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. It's an ADHD in me. I just can't do a video without me being fully like glammed up. I just can't do it. But yeah, so I had to basically tell my first child's father that I was basically dying, and his wife that I was basically dying. Show them my open wound, which was very, when I showed it to him, and his wife Francesca, who I love, they jump back, you know. Anybody I showed it to, they jump back. Oh my God. And that was eye-opening, to say the least. It was very sad. It definitely didn't make me feel good with that reaction. So I just basically just was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? You know what I mean? Like, what do I do? What do I do? Like, this is serious. Like, maybe I should take it a little bit more serious than when I was giving it, because I wasn't giving it all of that. I just was like, whatever, like, who cares? And they wanted to take my breast, and they wanted to cut it off, cut both of them off. And I had my boobs all my life, and I just didn't want to do that. So that was hard for me to swallow as well. No one wants to just cut their tits off, cut their boobs off, and just be like, oh, you know, I gotta cut them off. Yeah, we women, we say we're equal to men. We bring life. We're not equal to men. Never will be. And I think a lot of people that get cancer have forgotten about, you know, they don't think about, they think about everybody else. Like, everybody else is walking around, it's normal, it's perfectly fine. They think about them. But do they really think about the people that are suffering with cancer? And then now it's like a lot more ladies are coming through with this disease. Like, they're getting diagnosed way earlier. And it's really sad. So I wanted to start my channel back up and get much like courage to basically let everybody know that you can get cancer, you can have it, but you don't have to lower your standards on anything. You don't have to make it your identity. You don't have to do any of that stuff. And it was just being my own advocate and my own feeling of just saying to myself, you know what? Let me grab this. You know what? I'm not going to let a diagnosis run my life. I'm not going to let a diagnosis run my life. I'm not going to let something that's very unfortunate be my story. I want to, tell it, and I want to be a motivational speaker of sorts, because when I was looking for somebody to help guide me through, to give me an insight onto what happens when you get diagnosed, there was really nobody out there on YouTube that was really letting me know what's going on, and then they don't let you know that you can get cancer when you're young, like me. Like, I was 31, like in my prime. I had no idea I was going to catch cancer. I would have definitely lived a different lifestyle had I known that I was going to get cancer. I would have been skydiving and stuff and doing stuff I always wanted to do, and grabbing life by the horns, and not sitting up there worried about the trivial shit. And oh boy, so I fought. I was I didn't go with the plan. I was homeless, so I lived with my girlfriend, and she was great, and it was time to go. And I lived with her. And then after I left her, I lived in a homeless shelter, and with me and my son. I didn't talk to my child's father and let them know all that. And I basically just, tried to stay on the up and up. Living in a homeless shelter and then having a disease that's so detrimental as cancer. You would think there would be some help, but there isn't. There's not really that many resources out here for people that catch cancer. So when you catch cancer, there's really nothing. You can get on disability, but you have to qualify for it. And that is a 6-month automatic waiting period. So that's something that nobody tells you about. Yeah, you can qualify for disability, but there's a 5-month waiting period where you just are not qualifying for any type of assistance. You basically have to figure it out for yourself. So since that's the case, you're basically out on your own. And that sucks. I had no car. I struggled. I really did. I struggled a lot. So since I struggled and it was so tough for me, I just made it a point to never be in that position again, whether I had cancer or not. And it changed me, it changed me. It didn't make me any harder, but it made me stronger. My son, just seeing, the effects of it, he knows for sure. So he's going to have a really different outlook with his mom being 12 and me being, having cancer. And, he can't really relate to the kids at school because they're not really dealing with that. So it was really eye-opening to see how everything was going on. I'm so sorry. Rest in peace, King Vaughn, right? One of my favorite artists. Okay, better. Totally better. I did put my eyebrows on. Where was I? So yes. So when I was going through this, initially it was the worst case scenario for anybody. I did not have a husband. I was by myself, single. And on top of that, I was living in a homeless shelter. And then on top of that, I was basically just trying to figure out what was going on. I could not just figure out what was going on at all. So it was very, it was hard to say the least, way hard, but it was very endearing because what I focused on was just healing And when I just focused on healing and nothing else, I felt as though I healed. Now, my open wound became so nasty. I don't even know if I want to show you guys. Like, it's so nasty. Just imagine an open wound, never healing, leaking, and it stinks. It's a fugating wound. So I had a lump that was also an open wound. So I had something that was really, really, definitely super duper rare. And it was really, really, really scary, to say the least. And I had to depend on folks, and it was just disheartening, to say the least, for sure. Now that I came above it, I'm almost like done battling it. And I'm at the tail end of my journey right now. And this is the part where I'm going to start just like letting you guys know what happened, tips and tricks. I want to get to the point where I can grow the channel, where I can have an hour of you guys asking me questions about chemotherapy. Because I did both. I did chemotherapy and I did like natural methods to help fight this thing. So I was doing things on my own as well. Believe me. I wanted to do the herbs and spices and the natural methods and thinking I could really do that. I could not get around the results of just, if it was either you die or you live. So with cancer is either you die or you live. And when you are faced with those options, you have to play it like more so safe. I'm a woman, so I'm going to weigh all my options out and I'm going to try to play it safe more than anything. And with that, it just became a very, very difficult decision to just really go with conventional medicine and to really go with chemotherapy and to really believe into your medical team. I had young doctors when I'm from Delaware, so I had young doctors when I was in Delaware, and I was treated at Christiana Hospital at the Helen Graham Center. Now, initially when they treated me, they were okay. But then when I looked at my oncologist, she's the same age as me with the little child, young child, right? I wasn't a fan of her at first. You're not going to like all your doctors. Wasn't a fan of her at first. I wasn't really probably the ideal patient because I didn't go with the flow, as I wasn't like, okay, so usually this is what happens. As soon as you get diagnosed with cancer, within a week or two, they're ready to either let you know what stage you are. I was stage 3, grade 3. And then they let you know if it's spread. Of course, they're getting a lot of scans and a lot of tests, bone scan, CT scan. And you're just waiting for results every time. Now, either you can use that time to just be like, okay, I'm going to pray about it and I'm going to just do this and that. Or you hold on to it to yourself, or, then if you have kids, you're worrying about leaving your kids behind, and it gets to be very enamoring with all the thoughts that come into your head if you let them. So I pushed a lot of them thoughts out because I was like, no, I'm absolutely not dying. Absolutely not. I made my decision. So once you make a decision to fight this thing, and I've already made the decision that I have already beaten it. Even though I haven't physically done it yet, I've already beaten it in my head. So with that type of mental strength and ingenuity of me just saying, I beat it already, I was in denial as well because I did it. I didn't beat anything. I went through 8 chemotherapy treatments. It shrunk my tumor all the way up. It was Taxol, Carbo, and Keytruda. And once I got done doing, those were the 3 medicines. My first infusion, I went by myself. I didn't take anybody with me. I didn't want anybody to come with me. I wanted to take care of this thing all by myself. So with me taking everything by myself and going up there by myself was a bad mistake. I would suggest bringing somebody with you. My first infusion with Taxol, I almost died. The reason why I know I almost died is I went through anaphylactic shock. My throat was closing up. I was sweating profusely, like I just got drenched with a bucket of water. Everything was sweating. And now, I wear lashes, so everything just sweating. I saw my vision just... And I was like, as the blackness was coming in, like similar to how Looney Tunes goes off. If anyone remembers Looney Tunes, I'm a person particular age. If anybody remembers Looney Tunes, that era. And then they always be like, that's all folks with the black coming in with the zero, with the circle in the middle, just your vision just, and then eventually zips out. That's what it was, like having that allergic reaction and feeling like I was going to die. It was, my vision was going out, I was sweating profusely. I said to myself, I must be fucking dying. I think I'm fucking dying. That's what the inner voice had said to me, like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So I raised my hand. One of the nurses in the oncology department saw me in the infusion part, Cause so with chemotherapy, there's a doctor's office part of it, and then there's the part where these infusion site. So the infusion is basically, it can be lots of comfy chairs, like recliners, everywhere, and you see all the cancer patients and the people being treated for cancer. So of course, I'm one of the youngest ones in that whole entire room. Most everybody's in their 60s, 50s, 80s, and 70s and up. So that was disheartening. You're like, you feel out of place automatically because I'm so young. And most of the people that are catching it, they're they're in their 70s. They already lived their fucking life. They already had a lot of, you know, accomplishments, family already. And they're just trying to stay here a little longer. Me, I have my full life ahead of me and I have this horrible disease already. It was so sad. Not that I'm not going against the age, it's just that you felt really isolated, like, whoa, I'm really young to be going through this. So I'm in the infusion room. I go through my first allergic reaction to the chemotherapy. The medicine that's supposed to save you was killing me. Once I got over that reaction, they switched me over to Abraxane. Once they switched me over to Abraxane, I tolerated it better. I had my hair all the way through chemo until the end. It came out and I was bald. At that time, my ex had came back in my life and helped me out, basically my child's father, and just let me stay into his place. He already had moved on, but he still had an apartment, basically subletting it to me and my son until I could get myself together, and I stayed there for a couple of months. During that time frame, I was still going to my treatments, and I had the time to breathe and really like live and really like be okay mentally, and I was able to arm myself with a little bit more dexterity to handle a lot of these issues and to just really be able to be forthcoming with everything. At that time, I did lose my hair. The first time I lost my hair, oh my gosh, it was just like so sad. It's very sad. It just came off, and oh my gosh, I felt like I looked like Tales of the Crypt. You know, that's your hair, and it's gone, and it's gone, and it's not coming back. And well, it comes back, but it's just gone. So it left, and it's gone. I refused my doctor's appointment. I went to one more. Everything shrunk up. So at that point, it didn't clear it out all the way, but it shrunk up and closed up. And they were really surprised that I was responding very well to chemo. And as aggressive as the cancer came, aggressively it went as well. So that was good. I left, moved in with my friend, had to move out the apartment and and I lived with my friend for a little bit, my girlfriend, and one of my best friends, Toya. I lived with her, and once I moved, I stayed with her for about a month or two, and then I left there and I moved into my own place that I'm at now, and I've been here since, and bought a car. So the back payment from disability finally came through, and then taxes that came through from the previous year, and I was able to double up and just be able to get a car in a place post-COVID, which was really tough because everything was expensive and everybody wanted twice the amount of like they wanted 3 times the rent and stuff like that. So I ended up getting a nice private owned landlord. I live in a house, so it's not an apartment complex, but I have neighbors that do live upstairs. They've been there for quite some time. You know, get along, I guess. And I've been here ever since. I had no problems, and I'm very happy now, even though I have like this horrible disease I've been battling for a year. I haven't been able to work, of course. I've been on disability, and I've been able to manage all my bills monthly with what I get. and I do a little DoorDash and Instacart in between, and just make sure I don't, that's about it. I don't deal with I didn't think, the dating scene. I can get to that in the next episode, but for right now, we're just going to focus on the initial diagnosis and what I had to go through in the chemotherapy. Already, this video is 25 minutes. I hope that this really does help somebody choose the right path for them, and to know that you're not the only one out here battling cancer, and that is young and has kids, and that is a mom, and might not have all that great support, but I have great friends, and my other great friend Kenny, and he helps me move along and stay normal. And you got to be around people that don't treat you like you have it. So don't tell everybody you have it. You can tell people you have, like, your close ones, but don't just always harboring about it. Stay like a normal life so they can keep you in the normal graces in their mind. So that's what I did. And I just basically just kept pushing through, kept manifesting. So I would just go in my head and manifest this apartment and manifest an apartment in my head. It came out, boom. I do this every time before I get an apartment. I go in and I just close my eyes and I just envision my place, like hands down, like what it's going to look like, how it's going to be laid out, how I can lay it out, and how I can, come forth a little bit better. But I absolutely love my place, and I love where my life is now. I just wish I could fall in love with someone and be somebody's wife and just be completely okay. We'll get there though. But right now I have to start my own brand and start my own thing. So we're going to do this whole cancer journey, because like I said, when I was looking for somebody to give a relatable touch to cancer and with the ins and outs, I couldn't find anything. So here we are. For sure. So it was nice to meet you all and to talk to you, but I'm going to end this now because it's getting too long. I didn't want it to be super long, but maybe it needs to be. There's someone out there that needs this video probably more than I did. And there's someone out there that's probably facing depression because they got diagnosed with cancer and they're young and they're right in the middle of things and they're about to get married in a couple of months. And it's like you're young and you think that you're invincible, when in the United States, it's young people that are getting diagnosed with this disease all the time. And it's getting very alarming to the point of we need to raise a flag, have a mountain of people. Why are all these women coming down with cancer? They're not in their 70s, they're not in their 60s. We're in our 30s, we're in our 20s. It's a lot of us underneath of 40 that are catching this disease, no matter what type of lifestyle you have. Me, for instance, I found out recently that I have the BRCA1 gene mutation, which means that I had a predisposition to getting cancer since I was 25 years old. So that was something I did not know. I was supposed to be getting screened every year since I was 25, and here I am 31, and I got it anyway. Had I known that I was supposed to get screened, I could have caught it earlier and had a different outlook. So again, please just get tested, get tested. Get tested, get tested, get, reacquainted with yourself, and just know that we're not invincible. And the United States has a lot of things and a lot of products that kill us in our beauty, in our everyday use, in laundry, and all of that. Like, we're getting bombarded with a lot of chemicals, and we need to stand up for this. I wanted to be an advocate for a lot of moms out there that get cancer, a lot of women that get cancer before they're able to become moms and become wives and become great women and be in the feminine. And it's very sad. I'm so glad we have this platform called YouTube to basically reach out to people from the comfort of your home. And I can sit here and let you guys know that it's not the end of the world when you get diagnosed. Take this diagnosis and know you can be a role model for someone, especially your kids, because they're watching on how you deal with things. And I'm being a role model definitely to all the nurses and all the people that are on the front lines helping people out. I didn't turn to drugs. I didn't turn to anything. I didn't drink heavily. I don't do any of that, and I probably never will. But the one thing that I do is I take my health very serious, and I became a health nut, not because of cancer, I always was, but because this is what you have to do when you live in the United States. I'm going to keep uploading these videos, and I'm going to be consistent with these. So please check me out, subscribe. I'm just trying to help y'all out. I'm just trying to keep y'all like some motivation into what's going on in the world. I didn't want to make this video too long, but we might need to do, I might need to be on here for a couple hours explaining myself and letting you guys know what's going on. I really want to, because my story needs to be told, and y'all need to hear it, because as an African American woman in the United States, no one talks about this. There's no movies about this. There's nothing, like literally nothing. I want to write a book and have a movie of just, self-motivating and being mentally strong in an adverse world that, makes you feel like you're a victim. Don't play the victim role. We are warriors, and that's how I always felt until the end. Like, I'm a warrior. I'm always going to be one, and I'm always going to be strong, and I'm always going to be on an up and up. Now, where am I at? Well, I did 4 chemotherapy. I had both chemotherapy. So I had the erythromycin and cytosine, which is the red devil that they call. And I had 4 treatments of that, just completed it. And like I said, when I first did my journey, I didn't complete it. I did 8 Taxols, carbo, and it was the carbo and the Keytruda every 3 weeks or a couple weeks or so. So I had basically a lot of the chemotherapy medicines. The Keytruda made me sweat. I think that was the one that made me like go into menopause at night. I was sweating. I had no period. I was sweating profusely. Where all I would wear, instead of this wig, I would have a towel, and then I'll wrap a towel around me and just sit. And at 6 o'clock, I would get these night sweats, and then again in the middle of the night at 3 o'clock I would get them, and then at 12 o'clock I would get them, and then I would notice that I would need to use the bathroom, and then if I used the bathroom, it went away. So I put 2 and 2 together. I was like, okay, well maybe if I like stay ahead of it. And I didn't know that these medicines make you constipated. They make you just basically like, you can't basically like, you can't do anything. You have to stay in. It does mess your immune system up. Your white blood cells are going to be down and shot to the ground. If you're not in an area where the medicine is on an up and up scale, you're not going to get the right treatment. So initially, like I said, I initially started my medical journey in Delaware. It's currently right now, it's in New Jersey. I'm in New Jersey. I had heard about Jefferson Hospital, right? And they were like #1 in like the cancer research and development and treatment part. And I only knew, like, my aunt lives in Philly, so I asked her. I was like, "Can I use your address so maybe I can go up there and get the healthcare and stuff and do all this stuff and go up there for Jefferson? I want them to treat me." I just felt like where I was at in Delaware wasn't going to treat me the way I needed them to, and I wasn't going to get cured. I was going to die. I just had that like inner voice that told me that. So when I felt that, I just was like, okay, I got to get up there. So when I got over here in New Jersey, my friend was like, oh, there's a Jefferson Center up in Sewell, up in Cherry Hill. And I was like, no way, there is. So I looked it up. Lo and behold, there it was. So in my phone, I had a reminder set like Jefferson Breast Center, because when I first got this thing, I wanted to just go straight there, be diagnosed and everything, but I didn't have the insurance, the money, or the means to go up there. So after my first initial treatment, after me getting everything calmed down and me focusing on my root chakra and me getting my place and everything, I eventually came over here to Jefferson, walked in there, just basically drove up there, walked in, found the breast center, looked with tears in my eyes at the surgeon and was like, can you help me? That's literally what I did. And they took me in. I talked to a nurse navigator, told them my story, and they basically was like, okay, we're going to perform a mastectomy and put your port in. I said, okay. So that was me cutting this thing completely off. So I cut my right breast off. This is nothing here. It's just my wound. See, it's really nasty too. It's my wound. Ooh. So I did that, and I basically was like, okay, I'm cutting this off, cut this off. And I had to just go in with that. I'm cutting the cancer off. So I cut the cancer off and I did it. Drove myself to Cherry Hill and I went to surgery. I did all this by myself, mind you. Not that I don't have family. I just have a mom. I have a brother I really don't speak to like that. But I don't want to burden people with my journey. My journey is my journey, and I didn't want to burden anybody with it. I don't have a husband. I'm single, and I am just in this world, and I feel as though I was picked to be a soldier and to be an advocate for anyone else that's going through this in the future. I hope that this video finds you, because I did all this by myself. I didn't have anybody. So not that I didn't have anybody, but I was too headstrong to bring anybody along. I didn't want anybody all in my business. I didn't want to hear, "Are you okay?" 24/7. It's not that, but I really didn't. So I just didn't opt for that. Not sure if that's the right thing to do, but quite frankly, you don't want to hear anybody's opinions about you. You don't want to get asked those questions a lot of the times. You want to just go through it because you don't know yourself. You're like, I'm just bebopping along. I don't know how I'm going to focus, how I'm going to just like fight all this stuff, and hopefully I come out okay, and hopefully I'm all right. So, you know, it's just very, just, you know, just, it just got to a point where I'm just like, what am I doing? You know, you just have to always think that you're making the right decisions at all times, but sometimes you are, sometimes you aren't. So yeah, I went through surgery, got my mastectomy, my single mastectomy. About, I would say, how long did it take me to heal? I didn't have enough skin. I'm already like, I'm kind of thin. So I'm like 140, 145, and I'm like 5'6", 5'7". So I'm not that big of a person. Most of my weight's down in my legs and my booty and stuff like that. I always had D's up here. So I just didn't have enough skin to do anything else. So they just basically swiped me. I never even looked for an implant or anything like that. I just was like, whatever. I just want to get rid of the cancer. So once I did that, I see my nose keeps running. It's like so annoying. That's one thing about chemo. Chemo's gonna affect you for real. Your nose is gonna run 24/7. You're gonna have those little things going on. You know what I mean? Like, that's for sure. Like, your nose is always running. Like, those are the chemo problems that nobody says. And like I said, I got it easy. I didn't really have too many side effects. Not like you would think. Like, definitely, like, not as intense as anybody else's. But like I said, I can attribute that to me being young. Maybe me never really taking a lot of medication when I was younger. I don't really take medication like that. So this was like the first time my body probably got all this heavy medication. I mean, I don't even take an antibiotic. I don't get sick. So with this diagnosis, again, it was really shocking because it's like, I never get sick. How is this even possible? Excuse me. How is this even, possible? So we're here just like I said, it's really like, if you want to know the ins and outs of chemotherapy, and you want to know how you manage and how to get through, and if you are in this journey fighting as well, looking for motivation, please just stick with me, stick with my channel, because I'm going to keep letting you guys know what's up. Definitely. And I would love to have questions. I love questions, because my friends are a little scared to ask me questions, but they do. Like, how do you feel about your boob getting cut off? How do I feel having my boob getting cut off? I didn't feel any type of way because I was trying to save my life. So when you are faced with decisions like that, you don't care about trivial things such as boobs, because quite honestly, I don't have any babies. My youngest is 12, so I don't need to breastfeed or anything like that. So I'm not looking at them. It's like, oh my gosh, and I have one. So when you have two of something, you have one, you're fine. Just like if I had two hands and lost one, I think you'll be okay. Like, at first, when I first got diagnosed, no, I didn't want to cut off anything. I was upset, very upset. I'm very prissy. So I definitely didn't want to be in that situation at all. But here we are. And you just take the roll with the punches, man. You just keep on going, and you just make sure that you're fine at the end, So like I said, I won't want this video to be too long. It's already very long. And so it's like, it's long, but maybe it needs to be like an hour-long episode, But I've humbled myself down to come because I know I need to share my story with you all, definitely. Definitely need to share my story. So we're just going to go ahead and do this vlog, and we're going to share, and I'm going to push forward. Not that it's funny, I'm just laughing at myself. And we're going to hope that this thing really goes and gets. I just wanted to reach the women that I need to reach, or reach the kids. Maybe they don't know how mom's feeling. Maybe they don't know how scared mom is. Was I scared? Yeah. Every day a little thought comes in. I can be taken out. But then it's a thought that comes with it that says, no, girl, you'll be fine. You're going to be out of this. You're going to look back and know how this is going to treat you. And then, you know, you want, to me, when you get cancer, it's like you always have it. It's not like you ever get rid of it. Like you always have this like dark cloud over you, kind of like. So, you know, reoccurrence is high with me, and especially since I know I have a gene mutation. So the why was answered because I figured I did something to cause it, and I didn't. It was already genetically predisposition. Little background story: my dad had cancer and died from it in 2019. So he found out he had it, and about a month later he died from it. It was pancreatic cancer. It happened very quickly. I thought I could save him, of course. I was living in Illinois at the time, so I was very far away. And my mom basically had to deal with him and everything by herself up until he died. And I was just like, not able to like, you know, say goodbye. Those saying goodbye stuff, sometimes you get to, I never thought in a million years I would not be able to properly say goodbye to my dad, but it happened. And then boom, a couple years later, when I find out I had this, he passed on in 2019 in May. I found that I had this August of 2021. So exactly 2 years later, you know, I have this, and it was a genetic predisposition, as his dad died from it too. I had an older dad, so I was very, you know, appreciative for him in his time here. He was 74, 72, 73. But it was a lot. And I didn't know it was going to be this hard to get this video out, but I'm going to get out. I'm definitely going to upload it for you guys, and I'm definitely going to share my story. But yeah, it's definitely disheartening when your family, some cancer already runs in your family, and then you get it. It's like damn. It's like, whoa, like, why can't I escape this? But no. It's already predisposition. So when you look into nothing's a coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. You choose your own reality. Does it mean for this as well? Did I choose to have cancer? Maybe. So I'm over here just making sure I capitalize it and, you know, and let you guys know that it's not the end of the world when you catch it. Sometimes it is, so you can't be afraid to die at any point, because it can happen. And you have to let your family members know that, look, I got a serious disease and I may go at some point in time. I may not, but I may go. And while we're here, we need to make sure that we're cherishing the time. Have I lived my life to the fullest? Yeah. Kinda. Yeah. Well, I like to do a little bit more. Yes. Do I still want to fall in love? Yes. You know, already in love. You know, it's hard to date somebody when you have cancer. You don't even want to meet people. It's a lot. You know, I don't even want to tell anybody. Like, how can you even tell anybody? You know what I mean? So it's like the dating part of it. It's like, whoa. You don't even focus on that, for real. But, yeah, so it was nice really talking to you all and sharing how cancer affected me in my life. And I'm looking forward to sharing a little bit more of the day-to-day that tends to happen with it. And I hope that whoever this video finds, that it puts you back into focus, into knowing that it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. It's not a terrible thing. It's just that this country puts a lot of harmful chemicals in their food products, air fresheners, dish detergent, laundry detergent, like everything has something that's causing cancer inside of it. So it's going to happen more than it's not. 1 out of 8 of us, 1 out of 5 of us, 1 in 3 is catching this thing. So I just wanted to make you guys all aware about that. And I also wanted to just be more forthcoming into the initial parts of having this. Let's walk with it. Let's not walk without it. Let's walk with cancer. Let's walk without it, because it's coming. It comes. And like, you know, all those marches and stuff that they do, I don't see any fruition coming from that. I don't know if it's just like, you know, what do they do with all the money that they get from that? It doesn't do anything to the people that actually has cancer. So I just wish it was a little bit more protections for women, because we're just like, oh, whatever. You know, not that many protections, not that many things. So I just wanted to just let everyone know how it goes down having cancer, and having one of the rarest ones, and having something that is not easily, people don't talk about it. I don't know anybody my age that has it. I have no one to relate to. Now, there are forums and groups, but a lot of women, like I said, are older, had it, or they looked at it differently. Some women judge you for not working during the time. Some women have to work. I don't believe in that. I'm not really big on women working, period, if they rear children. But you know, we have to maintain a lifestyle, and we have to live and eat like everyone else. And it's, you have a huge disability. You're facing something terminal. It should be more out here for that, but it's not. So I wanted to let y'all know that as well. So you always have to find out something like a niche, something that you are good at, something that you know is going to make money in some other way or aspect that's like not going to take all of your time and stuff like that. So you have that as well. So it's like, ooh. But it was nice talking to you guys. My name is Shay. This is, I don't know what I call this channel. This is Mimi's Magic View. It's Mimi's View, because I have a podcast too. But this is Michelle, and it was nice speaking to you all, and it was nice getting to know you. And I will be back soon with another episode to let you guys know how things are faring. And love and light and peace.